Hello, and a huge welcome to the Align Space community. In this masterclass, we're going to dive into something really important: how to reclaim your own personal autonomy. We're going to explore the very architecture of who you are, so you can learn not just how to stay human, but how to become a better, more intentional one. So let's just jump right in with a pretty direct question. Are you really the pilot of your life, or does it sometimes feel like something else is at the controls? If you've ever had that feeling of being a passenger, just going through the motions, you've experienced what we're calling autopilot. That's the core issue we're unpacking today. That sense that something unseen has hijacked your personal control center. All right, so if we're going to take back the controls, we first have to figure out who or what has taken over the pilot's seat. So let's get acquainted with this internal force that so often works against our own best efforts. Let's meet our internal saboteur. Now, this isn't just some vague feeling we get. It's an active force. I want you to think of it like a villain working from the inside, an adversary that, as this quote puts it so powerfully, literally restrains you, blocks you, and chains you to your past. It's the part of us that, usually without us even realizing it, signs this invisible contract to stay stuck, sabotaging our own progress. This slide really lays out the stakes, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the results of that autopilot hijacking. We feel totally fragmented, our energy is just drained, and we're subconsciously messing up our own best plans. But look at the right side. That's the goal: authentic stewardship. This is when you're present, you're integrated, you're the one consciously leading your life, you're actually recovering energy, and you shift from being a victim of your circumstances to the victor of your own life. So how do we get there? How do we achieve that stewardship? Well, we start by understanding our own internal resources. Let's put the saboteur aside for a minute and meet the heroes of our story. I want you to think of your own personhood as being run by 6 distinct, really powerful intelligence agencies. Okay, let's break these down. First up is your professional intelligence. And that's not just your job, right? It's how you apply your skills and contribute value. Then there's your emotional intelligence, your ability to actually understand and consciously manage your feelings, not just react to them. So important. Next, social and relational. This governs all your connections, your capacity for empathy, for building healthy bonds. Your spiritual intelligence connects you to that deeper sense of meaning, your purpose. Then there's physiological. This is literally the wisdom of your body, all those signals it sends about stress, health, and energy. And finally, cognitive. That's your brain power, your capacity for reason and analysis. These 6, working together, they form the complete architecture of you. And here's why this is so crucial. When these 6 agencies are all working together, when they're integrated, they create what we call personal agency. That's your capacity for true self-governance. But when that autopilot saboteur takes over, they get fragmented. You might be a genius in your cognitive agency, but your emotional agency is a total mess. Or maybe your professional life is amazing, but your physiological agency is screaming burnout signals that you just ignore. That misalignment, that's exactly where we lose our power. Okay, now that we've mapped out the landscape, we've identified the saboteur, it's time to shift into the solution. Let's move on to section 3 and see how this becomes an active quest: the internal restructuring. This is where we stop just diagnosing the problem and we actually start doing the work. I love this quote because it puts the power right back where it belongs, with you. This whole process, it's not about following some rigid formula. It's about taking ownership. You're not just a character in your own story. You are the architect who designs the whole structure and the author who gets to write the next chapter. And this just lays out the path forward perfectly. Think of it like a demolition and a rebuild project. Step 1, you consciously evict that saboteur. You're terminating that invisible contract to stay small. Step 2, you rewire the old beliefs that gave it all its power in the first place. Third, you intentionally reintegrate your 6 intelligence agencies, getting them to finally work as a coordinated team. And the result of all that? You reclaim your power. You reclaim your personal agency. This brings us to our final section, and it's all about the incredible outcomes of this work. What does it actually look and feel like when you truly become your own architect? What's the real reward for taking on this whole internal restructuring? Just look at this profound shift. The exact same internal energy that once felt like this heavy weight holding you back, it becomes a force that lifts you up. Those chains to the past, they're broken, and they're replaced by a force that actually nourishes your future potential. Victimhood gets transformed into a resilient kind of courage that helps you pivot towards strength, even when things are uncomfortable. And these are the tangible rewards you can expect. I mean, imagine it. Living with a presence-driven approach, fully engaged in the moment. You'll feel this inspiration to contribute, not to withdraw. You'll build what we call an energy recovery bank, so you're operating from a surplus, not a deficit. You'll develop that resilient courage to face whatever comes your way. And maybe most importantly, you'll cultivate this coherent, grounded sense of who you are.
So, this is where we'll end. You've seen the internal landscape, you've met the saboteur, and now you've been handed the blueprint for an internal restructuring. You have the plans to become the architect of your own life. So the only question left, and it's the most important one, is this: what will you choose to build?